New Year, I think, excluding the actual New Year's Eve one. Tina girl, let's be quiet. She's in the other room. She thinks I'm talking to somebody. Okay, folks. Oh, folk. Only one out there at the minute. Apologies for the lack of TrampCasts the last few weeks. I just didn't really take notes over Christmas. And meant that even when I wanted to do a TrampCast, I couldn't reconstruct the week. Tina girl, that's enough. Come here. Come on, come here. Come and say hello to the peoples. See if I can catch her. Come on, babe. Yes, yes. Are you coming? No. Oh well. I thought I was going to be able to say hello to Tina for you, but apparently not. Okay, shall we begin? This is episode 52 of TrampCast, and if I'd done them consistently, that would have been a year's worth. But I'm inconsistent, such is life. So, episode 52 of TrampCast, it is Sunday, December the 19th, 2025. As I say, it's the first TrampCast of the new year, excluding the New Year's Eve into New Year's Day TrampCast that we did. That was a special, that wasn't actually a TrampCast. I am Delta Mike. The channel is down and out in Torrevieja. I said Delta Mike, that's me. Down and out. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. A bum, some would say, Americans in particular. Someone who sleeps rough, sleeps on the streets, or in my case, in a field. This is TrampCast, where we discuss the successes, the failures, and the other happenings in my life as a down and out, as a tramp in Torrevieja, a city on the southeast coast of Spain. It's been a strange week, been an eventful week in some ways, and not so much in others. We'll get to it. To begin with, though, we will begin as ever with the numbers round, the numbers section. Tina! Shut up! If I have to come and get you, there'll be trouble. My darling. So, as I said, we begin with the numbers round, the numbers section. This is episode 52, so a few facts about the number 52. There are 52 weeks in a year, as I just mentioned. 52 cards in a deck of playing cards. And also the trick game, 52 card pickup, where you take the pack and just spray them out onto the floor for someone else to pick up. There are, and I didn't know this, 52 white keys on a piano keyboard. Allegedly. International direct dialing codes. We always have one, almost always have one. 52 international direct dialing code will get you Mexico. There are, technically, 52 letters in the English alphabet. The majuscule and the minuscule, basically the uppercase and the lowercase letters. Obviously we treat them as 26 characters, really 26 letters, but each has two representations. Okay, and we always have one from the periodic table, and we will do for another, how many, what are we up to now on the periodic table? I'm not sure how many there are. 130 something, I think, yeah. So we'll have a periodic table one for a few weeks to go yet. At 52, the atomic number 52, tellurium, with the symbol Te, which is a silver white metal related to selenium and sulfur. Apparently, it's not found too often because it tends to off gas and basically leave the atmosphere and vent into space. It's the first time we've had that mentioned, I think. But yeah, it gases off and evaporates out, and it's so light once it's a gas, off it goes. Primary use is in solar panels. in particular thin film solar panels, solar cells, which are the elements that build up a solar panel. And is technically classed as a technology critical element because of its use and how it's seen as part of the future of technology. So there we go, folks. That was the numbers round for episode 52. Just a silly little round where we wasted a little bit of time waiting for more people to join us. Tina girl, come here now. Come here. Come on. I'm going to have to go get her, folks. Just give me a second. Otherwise she's just going to bark all... She's in the bedroom, but she hears me talking and she thinks there's somebody here. Let me get the monster. Come here, Buggerlugs. Come on. No, come on. I told you to come out. No, stay inside the tent. Stay inside the tent. Get a drink of water if you want. Okay. Try not to be too noisy. Whoa! Okay, I nearly knocked the whole thing over, guys. I nearly knocked the whole thing over. I'm back. And I've got my monster with me. Well, first click never works. There she is. There's my girl having a big slurp of water. Oh, and there's my my new veg rack, my new food storage rack, which was brought by a lady called Colleen. I brought that round over Christmas. Let me turn this back. I'm looking a little bit blue because of the light through the tarpaulin. No, you're not going to see that, are you? Because it's looking at me. Because of the light through the tarpaulin roof there, look. Well, we've got a very blue hue. Okay. So that was the numbers round. Next is the thankyous for this week. The people who have sent me money and come to the site, come to the tramp camp over the last couple of weeks, I will do a special to kind of try and catch up on the events over Christmas, New Year, and to do the thank yous there. I'm not going to forget you. I am going to say thank you properly. I just have to try and reconstruct the events, look through messages and things to see what happened when. We had a few visitors to the site, including my mate Joby, the English guy that used to live at the other side of the field here. About this time last year, I think he turned up on the 1st or 2nd of February. So yeah, we'll get to that. But for this week, here are the thank yous. The lady down the road, who I nicknamed Morticia because of her long dark hair, long black hair. Don't actually know her name. She's petrified of the dog, so she doesn't hang about. She keeps her distance. She puts some money down on the floor under a rock, shouts me, and then makes her way away before Tina can attack. She doesn't know that Tina can't even walk anymore, but hey. So yeah, the lady called Morticia who gave me 20 euros. So that's the amount that we say around here. That ain't cheap. So thank you to the Spanish lady down the road. Also Sven, my friend Sven, who's a regular contributor. He sent an amount again. That ain't cheap. Thank you, Sven. Much appreciated, my friend. You don't have to send it every month, though. I mean, I appreciate it, and you know, if you've got it and can spare it, then thank you. But please don't feel obligated. It's not, you know, I'm not that important. Now, people coming to the camp. My mate Tom's been this week, and he brought. He brings a litre of beer, and we split it between us, the cold bottle of beer, and he brings a glass, and he also brought me a salad, and we sat down, and he, you know, a good couple of hours of his time, as it was getting cold outside, just before the sun was going to go down. So I appreciate the company, Tom, and obviously the beer and the food. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Likewise, Colleen, the lady I was just saying about the veg rack, she came yesterday, and she brought me some newspapers and a tin of beans. This is the lady that came, was it Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, One of those days, her and her friend came and brought a big sack of, an empty dog food sack, but filled with beans and mixed vegetables and basically everything over on the rack there, or half of what's on the rack. But she came again yesterday and brought a tin of beans and some newspapers, so I can do the Sudoku and crosswords and things on an evening if I sit in this chair, which I have had to just clear off. This this chair is used more for storage than it is for my backside. It goes weeks with sacks of stuff piled on it, and then when I come out and want to use it, I have to juggle things around and move things around, and of late clear the mouse poo off it. Little bloody pellets they get everywhere. They get everywhere. Okay, that was Colleen. Colleen came again, and today I'm going to get this name wrong. Our new friend Ragnar, I think it would be. It's possibly Ragnar, but Swedish bloke came to the camp. One of the guys who lives nearby on the road at the top here, and offered me a single mattress, a small mattress for a single bed. But I've got two double mattresses, one on top of the other. The bottom one's wet through from the rain the other day, and I don't think it ever dried out from the big rain New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Things here are still wet from, it's almost 3 weeks ago now, isn't it? Things just never got a chance to dry out properly, and then it rained again, whatever day it was, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever it was. So yeah, those the people who come to the camp, it's always appreciated. I like a chat. I like to sit and talk with people. And Tina girl, no, get your snout out. She got her nose in these bags of food that I've got on the floor here. Supermarket bags. I don't know, but yeah, those are the thank yous. The thank you to everybody who's whether it was via PayPal, whether it was cash in person, or whether it's visits to the site and the things that you bring and the company that you bring. It's much appreciated. We don't, with Tina's limitations now, we don't get out much. We don't get to go anywhere. It's a struggle for her to go 20 meters down the road, just for her ablutions. So the idea of getting up and walking anywhere, we can't even walk around the block anymore, like we used to, like when I used to do the sunrise videos over on the cliff tops. We can't get to the cliff tops. It's only 150 meters that way, but we can't do that anymore. So if people come to us, that's a big help. That's a big help. So yeah, let's move on. Those were the thank yous of this episode 52 of TrampCast. Let's move on to the themes for the week. Like I said, in some ways it's been a kind of interesting week, and in others, like I said, we don't get to go anywhere, so it's not interesting. It's not like when we used to do the long walks and do videos like at Torre del Moro or in Torrevieja town centre. We don't get to do any of that anymore. So we're restricted here. But the themes for the week, we had this weather forecast thing going on where the weather forecasts were telling us we were going to have some really cold nights, like 3 degrees or lower. So there was like even the possibility of frost at one point. We also had, for Thursday into Friday, a forecast of really heavy rain. At one point it started as a forecast of really heavy rain. Tina girl, quiet. Here, quiet. There she is, barking away. I think there's someone walking past. But yeah, the weather forecast was talking about 3 degrees and even lower, and as I've often said, it can be 2 or 3 degrees lower than the weather forecast in this field, because we're in a hollow right on the coast. So that was a little bit worrying, but bear with me. We'll do the full story when we get there, when we get to Thursday and Friday in the notes. But cold nights, rain forecasts. I have actually been having hot coffee and hot food for once. I broke out the stove for Christmas, and I left it out, and I've actually been using that. It's it's the first time since Joby was here I made hot coffee. Tina girl, hey, stop it. I used to occasionally make us hot coffee when Joby lived in the field, so that was February to April, I think, last year. Although most of the time, especially once it got a little warmer, most of the time it was just cold coffee, just instant coffee and cold water in a cup. But now now that we're in kind of deep midwinter, I've started heating my water up to make coffee. Warming up some food. I haven't really cooked except at Christmas. I've warmed tins of beans or soup and things. Just quick and easy stuff. And I also broke out the hot water bottles. I've got one proper hot water bottle. Thank you, Karen. But I didn't know where it was at the start of the week. I knew it was in this particular corner of this particular room in the tent. But I'd not seen it in a long time. When I found it, it was all wet and slimy. I guess part way to being mouldy, because it would have been wet for 2 or 3 weeks since New Year. It's on the floor with other stuff on top of it. Sorry, Karen. I've cleaned it now though. I've got it in good working nick again. But I've also, as well as the one proper hot water bottle, I've got a cushion cover, and I put 2 cola bottles, 2 2-litre pop bottles inside, and put boiling water in them and fasten the lids, make sure that they're not leaking, put them inside the cushion cover, zip it up and put that into the bed, and the cushion cover stops any direct contact with the boiling hot water bottles, so I don't burn myself in the night. And I sat there lovely and toasty on these really cold nights, too warm at times. Too warm. Now, in previous years, when it's got down to those kind of temperatures, word went around that there was some emergency shelters opening in town for homeless people. I didn't hear anything about any of that this time around. I don't know whether that happened or not, but I never heard about it. And I wouldn't have gone anyway, because I doubt they would have been accepting dogs, and we couldn't have got there anyway with the way that she is, the way her back legs are. No chat, or am I just missing it? Live chat, I want all the chat. Terence, hello there, my friend. Been looking forward to your TrampCast, Mike. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your post there for a while. Why chat doesn't just automatically pop up, I've no idea, but you know, YouTube. So yeah, these have been the themes. Waiting on this rain all week, trying to stay warm on the cold nights. How's it going? It's going okay. I mean, I'm you know, we're surviving. We've got food. I got a little bit of money left in PayPal, a little bit in my pocket, in Redis for use, and I'm staying nice and toasty warm. The tent leaks like a sieve now. Whenever it rains, I watched a pool of water appear in the middle of the floor. I had the carpet pulled back from when I was trying to dry it the other week, and when it rained, this pool of water just appeared, and there was no dripping down from the roof, and there was no water running down the walls. The water just appeared in a puddle and then ran. I'm not sure if it came in through the wall, through the far wall, and ran under the bedroom and appeared here, or whether it just came under the tent and through a hole where the mouse made a fucking way in. Mice. Had them last winter, got them this winter. They bite their way through the bottom of the tent, make their little holes and squeeze their way in, and then they shit wherever they go. I got a pan. Let me show. I'll show you. This is a story. On top of the veg rack there, you see that red pan? So I just looked in it before, and mouse shit in the pan. Nothing in the pan, but mouse shit. Looks like kind of fucking big rice grains, but they're not. And that pan, until a couple of days ago, there was a box on top of that rack, on top of that veg rack. Had a big box. Oh God, this was in the storm, when it rained and we got really strong winds. This big box with plates and mugs and cups and all my cookery utensils, the fish slice and slotted spoon and big spoon, all that kind of stuff, all my cooking stuff. Balanced on top of that that veg rack, and the wind blew so strong it blew the wall of the tent in and pushed this heavy box off the top of there, crashed on the bloody ground, broke I think 2 plates, 2 mugs, and one of the mugs was this fucking hexagonal, shiny, I don't know whether it's meant to be pottery or like a black glass, but it is shattered fucking into a million tiny pieces everywhere. And it even broke the box itself, the big plastic box that was on top broke. One of the sides kind of split down it, so the pottery that was inside, the ceramic, has blown out of the box and is all over the bloody floor over there. So that's going to be a job and a half to clean up. I've got one little hand brush, but I've lost my dustpan, so I'll have to jerry rig something with a piece of paper or card or something to try and mop up and sweep up. I don't know. Cheers folks. Coffee, just black coffee this time, but warm coffee for once. And I've got to be careful because it'll steam the glasses up. Oh. I trimmed the beard as well. I think that was this week. Might have been last, but I think it's this week. I was getting a bit heavy on the beard, and every time I drank, it would run down the tash, down the beard, and then drip onto whatever I was wearing. So I had to get the clippers on it. Oh, incidentally, I've got 2 sets of hair clippers now. I don't do bad for a tramp. Yeah, Karen brought me a pair. Karen's a hairdresser. She bought a cheap pair in Argos and brought them over from Britain a while ago. I can't even imagine how long ago that was. But my mate Ronan, Anthony's son, Anthony that comes out quite often, his son was over with them last time. He came out and on his last night he brought me a bag with bits and pieces, a saw, beard trimmers, hair trimmers, not beard, hair, a light, this light, solar powered, with an infrared movement detector and 4 different options for how to use it. So yeah, I pick up bits and pieces along the way, don't I? Bits and pieces. See, again, this is one of the themes, as always, the thank yous, the thanks to everybody who helps out, the people who visit me, the people who bring me little electronic gadgets like that, like the hair clippers and lights, little Bluetooth speakers I've been the recipient of. One bloke way back gave me a little tablet. Karen gave me a replacement phone when my phone broke, and my phone was a gift from 2 ladies in the first place, my original phone. I got someone asking me once if I was some sort of gigolo with all the women running around bringing me things, but it's not like that. It's not like that. There are no hobosexuals out there. Oh, except for the gay blokes that come to the tent wanting some. They're hobosexuals. I don't know. What compels a man to just turn up at your tent and try taking his pants off and... Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, is it? I'm talking about the themes of the week. So yeah, let's just run through them again quickly. The weather forecast, the cold nights, the rain, expecting rain. It kind of sort of never really happened in the way they'd said. They backed off and delayed the forecast all along. Then when they said, oh, no rain, then it hammered it down overnight. Don't rely on weather forecasts, folk. Just don't. But the hot coffee and food has been a big change to me. I've gone months without cooking. I guess I was cooking with the slow cooker previously, electricity, but there's not enough sun for that now. There's more than enough sun to top up my EcoFlow every day. Well, we'll get to that actually, because some days not, but most days, if the sun shines, I can get up to 100% by lunchtime. But the extra that you get in the afternoon isn't enough for me to cook something proper in the slow cooker. So I've reverted back to other methods on the stove. But I have gone months and months without having warm food. I've just been eating... friends have brought me warm food. Don't get me wrong, Anthony and Tom both bring me warm meals every now and again. Quite often, actually. Yeah, but for me to actually have the stove out and be cooking and hoping the police don't turn up to take it away again, I think everything's a little more greener out there now. Tina, girl, Tina. We've had some rain, not lots, but some. Tina, enough. Sufficiente, basta. Okay, folks, those are the themes, I think. That and the mice, I guess, is still an ongoing thing, and I haven't got any traps yet. I need to pull my finger out. And a couple of things I want to get. I want some mouse traps, and I need a flask. Now that I'm making hot water, I've got this fantastic cup. I think it was Karen got me this last year, either my birthday or Christmas. It's insulated, and it's got a top. I don't know, it's got a top on it. Looks like a kid's sippy cup. You know, when you're weaning kids, you know, when they start eating and drinking on their own. And this keeps the drink warm, hot, for a good 2 hours after you make it. Absolutely phenomenal. But an actual thermos, an actual flask would be a good addition to the toolkit. There was a time when I had 3 flask type devices, 1 proper flask and 2 just metal single wall bottles with good lids. But those were outside when the police raided and took away all my things that time. Don't get me started, I'm not talking about that now. But I could do with a cheap thermos type, not a brand name, not a proper actual thermos, but a vacuum flask. So I'm gonna look into that when I've got enough spare in PayPal, and put some on my card, and I can risk buying the thermos at the Chino Bazaar. I'm not gonna have his mouse traps though. The last lot that we got from there all exploded on basically the first use. The first time the trap gets triggered and there's not something in it, if it triggers and misses, the force pulls the staples out and the whole trap just fucking explodes. Did it with one of them when I was just testing the trap. I just like put a pen in, and because the thing went smack, it just pulled the staples out and exploded. Tina girl, that's enough. It's just a motorbike on the top road. Okay, folks, those were the themes. I guess I've dragged that out a bit. Sorry. Let's get on with things. We're coming up. Hey, Susan, how you doing? Been looking out for my videos. Yeah, I haven't done any videos this year so far. I don't think. No videos, no live streams except for New Year's Eve itself. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say because of Tina's. Because of the state of Tina's back legs, because of how she's basically immobile. I have to help her into and out of the tent and into and out of the bedroom. We don't get far. I get maybe 10 or 20 meters down the track just for her to do her ablutions. We can't even do a sunrise at the cliffs. We're trapped in this field basically now. And most of our day is spent inside the tent itself, in the bedroom. John, hello. Where are we all, folks? Give us a rundown of who's where. Are we in the UK? Are we abroad? I know Susan's in is it Barcelona? I think it was Barcelona. So have a quick rundown of who's here and where are you? If anybody wants to. I'm about to start the actual week itself, the details for the week. John's in Liverpool. Are you a LFC or are you an Everton? Or are you an Evertonian? Let's start soccer wars. Of course, not everyone in Liverpool's from Liverpool, but Terence is in North Wales. Nice. Oh, 40 kilometres. Oh, yeah, I remember you saying you were moving. Yeah. LFC, I think that's meant to be, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was a misclick, a mistype. Okay, folks. Liverpool, that's the way to be. Do you know, I haven't really followed the football the last couple of years. Well, you know, I got more important troubles, haven't I? than soccer. Footy. Oh, that little robin. I got a robin actually flew into the tent this afternoon, and he keeps coming and perching on the lip under the door, on the, what do you call it, like the threshold, or I call it the skirt at the bottom of the tent under the door. He just flew into it now and landed and flew off, and Tina chased him away. Him or her, I can't tell. How do you sex a robin? I don't know. Is it only the males that have the red breast, or do the females as well? I don't. In the animal kingdom, it tends to be the males that go colourful, doesn't it? But I know nothing. But this field is full of them, and there's little thin ones, big fat ones, loads of them. But they're basically mice with wings. I mean, they're around picking up the little bits that I've dropped over time. You know, when you clean a chopping board and bits get, you know, bits of bread or whatever get dropped out or thrown out, or bits drop out of bins, they're here picking at everything. Okay, folks. Only males have the red breast. Okay, I thought it might be something like that. I didn't know, and I can't. Normally, see, if I ever thought like that, I would go to Google and look it up, but that would end the broadcast. On Android, you know, you're either in the broadcast or you're out of it. There's no swapping to a different window and carrying on broadcasting. Live streaming, I guess, is a better word than broadcasting. Okay, folks, let's begin. We're way over 30 minutes and we haven't really started. We will begin, as we often do, with last Sunday. I'll start with the evening. Normally I would say last Sunday after the TrampCast, but I didn't do one, so there is no after the TrampCast. But I'll start with Sunday evening anyway. And I'll admit that I felt guilty for not doing a TrampCast last week and the previous weeks. The last TrampCast I tried to do was also going to be numbered episode 52, and I got that far down right in my notes. It's mirrored, but I got this far down right in my notes and just wasn't feeling it. And that was December the 29th, a couple of days before New Year. I just wasn't feeling it, so I didn't do it. And similar last week, I'd not made any notes all week, and trying to come up with them and backfill the week, it's not always easy. The days run into one. You can't remember what day this happened or that happened. Sometimes there are things happen you just don't even remember. So I felt guilty, and I decided, you know, that's why this week I made copious notes, and I almost didn't have enough room on the page to write them all down. I try and keep to one page, otherwise the damn show would go on forever. And I know I bore you all enough as it is. Most of you only drop in and stay for 10 or 15 minutes as it is. I'd appreciate it if you could up that a little bit, guys, you know, half an hour or so I can double my viewing hours, give YouTube a bit of a signal that I'm still here. But yeah, as I said, I made no notes of the previous week, which made me decide to make notes properly this week. And yeah, now I was awake most of that Sunday night. It's been a growing pattern recently of just being awake all night and then falling asleep 6, 7, 8 in the morning, and just grabbing a couple of hours, sometimes having an hour or so snooze in the afternoon. But I was awake all night, and I was watching cookery videos mainly, and a bloke called Future Canoe I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of his videos. He's got a very dry, droll kind of personality, and he made Turkish Delight, and I made a comment on his video, and so far it's got 40,000 likes. It's the most. I mean, when I make a comment on YouTube, usually it gets like 2 thumbs up, or you know. To suddenly get 40,000 is just stupid, incredible, weird. But into Monday, like I said, I was awake. I was awake all night. Probably fell asleep about 6:30, 7, just as it was maybe thinking about getting light. I fell asleep at 7, woke at 11 a.m. A real late start, and my solar panel was laying flat over the top of my cool box outside, kind of protecting it if it rains. And then normally I will get up in the morning and stand the panel up so it faces the sun, kind of what's that, southeast ish. I'd not put it in position. I was getting a trickle because of it laying flat. It still got some, but not much. So I had to stand that up and get that going, because managing power is just one of those things that's a big part of my day at the minute. Ensuring there's enough power and that everything's topped up before the sun goes, because if we suddenly got a couple of days with no sun, I'll run out of power. The EcoFlow is great. It stores 250 watt hours, but this phone burns through the power. When I'm doing this broadcast now, if I was looking at the percentage power, I would be watching it tick down. It was on 100 when we started. It's down to 82, and we've been going 35 minutes, 37 minutes, down from 100 to 82. You just, when it's doing something heavy intensive, it just burns through the battery. So in a typical day, I will charge it twice, and overnight I will have it plugged in on like a trickle charge. That's how much power it's using. Basically 3 full charges a day, but done differently. It's a beast for power consumption. You wouldn't have thought so. It's a bloody expensive phone. If you look it up, a Samsung Z Flip something or other, I can't remember the exact model or whatever, but Karen had trouble with it and swapped it out. Gave it to me when mine packed in. But it's a beast for power. So managing the power is something I have to do. So getting those solar panels up early and get batteries. These lights, this one takes USB or solar. So I like to get that out and try and get as much solar on it as possible. But I've got other ones that take, I think I've shown these before. Like this one, this light takes three AA's, which I think I've shown you before. Takes, there's a USB slot on there. It plugs directly into USB-C. So I've got, and this one takes 3 AAA's. So I've got a batch of things that each day I like to get them topped back up. Most of these will run for 2 or 3 days on like my string of fairy lights. Most of these will run for 2 or 3 days on a full charge. But you don't want to be on the last day of 3 and then find that tomorrow and the next day is not going to have any sun. You got to be more proactive. Keep everything topped up in case you get days with no sun. We'll get to that shortly. Because there were days this week when the weather forecast suggested that might happen, and now the weather forecasts are split. One app says yes, one app says no, as to whether there'll be any sunshine in the next 2 days or not. Last I checked, one of them said no, it's going to be dull and overcast for the next 3 days. That'll be a problem if it's true. Spain though, it doesn't usually happen. Usually, even if you get one overcast day or one day where it just rains all day and it's dull and overcast, the next day the sun will come out. Don't start singing. A Little Orphan Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. I watched it the other day. I don't know why. Hello from Shetland, Vesternor. Is that a proper real name, or is that just some kind of nickname? I don't know. Vesternor. Sounds very Viking. Where am I, folks? Where am I? Okay, so yeah, got the solar panel. This is all nickname. Okay, mate. This is all. I'm going long-winded saying managing power is like a big deal for me at the minute, and it is because what have I got? My life is Andrew. Okay, mate. My life is limited to this field, and even more so to this tent, and even more so to that one room over there behind that curtain there, behind that zip, which is broken. My day is basically laying down on the bed, passing time, me and my doggy, keeping warm at night, and just entertaining myself with YouTube and other videos that I download. What am I watching at the minute? A program called Lie to Me. I've said in the past, I'm still watching The Mentalist, but it's refusing to download at the minute. I'm halfway through season 6, and it's not available for download easily. I'm not saying any more. But there was a message there that I missed. Sorry, it flashed up and went away before I got to it. My positivity, oh God, I don't know, mate. I don't know about positivity. I have my ups and downs. I have my downs. Like I've just said about not making notes the last 3 weeks, and I mean, I enjoyed Christmas and New Year, and I did do live streams, but they weren't TrampCast. They weren't this where I detail my week. And I did get drunk on the Boxing Day one, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, and then I did New Year's Eve. And I was very drunk by the end of the Boxing Day. The last half hour is probably best avoided if you do decide to watch it. I don't know about positivity. I mean, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to keep going, trying to get by. What else can you do? What are the other options, you know? They're not to be considered, really. You can't give up and just die. So yeah, anyway, back to it. Managing the solar and watching videos and keeping entertained. I sat outside. Monday was nice. I after I did get up in the end, I got up late, like I said, put the solar out, walked to Tina, did what needed doing. But then I lit my gas stove and boiled some water and had some coffee, and I was 50-50 whether to bring the coffee inside and just lay down on the bed and watch videos, or whether to just sit outside and look at the sun, you know, sunbathe basically. And I did that, and as people walked down this little track, the little road here, I waved and said hello to everybody. And that's when the lady down the lane, who I nicknamed Morticia because of the black hair, it looks like, you know, the lady on the Addams Family with the long black hair. It's a nickname, and if she ever finds out, she'll probably kill me. But that's when she walked past and went to, I think, to the garage, or she went and got some shopping, and she came back. And that's when she shouted at me, waved some paper money. I couldn't tell what, but she put it under a rock and then backed away because she's frightened of the dog. But that was lovely. At €20. I mean, I can't say, you know. I mean, that's just lovely. It's been a while. She used to give me. God, that sounds terrible. I probably shouldn't word it that way. She used to give me money more often, and I guess she's seen that I'm doing all right and that I'm getting by, and like getting the solar panel and the cool box and stuff maybe puts some people off from helping. They think I look more like a camper than a homeless guy who's just getting by, because you guys and others, you know, people being generous. Like when I needed the tent last time around, I got so much money and help from people that I had money left over. And that's how I was able to buy the EcoFlow. And then Karen helped me with the solar panel and bits, yeah. And she took me shopping, looking for the cool box and stuff. Yeah, I get a lot of help from people. But I guess now people, this big tent, the solar panel, the cool box, Christmas tree. Still got the Christmas tree up. It's still here, look. I don't turn it on, but I haven't got anywhere to pack it away to. What's the winter like? In previous years it's been really mild. A couple of years ago it got down to 4 degrees for 3 or 4 consecutive days. Other than that, it's 10 degrees at night and really mild. I'm still in shorts. I haven't switched to long pants yet. I haven't even tried long pants on. I'm not sure whether I'll get into the ones that I do have. Probably put a bit on the belly this last year. Been well fed and looked after. Hence all the, you know, like I showed before. Look at my veg rack. Oh, can I? Look at my veg rack. Well, it's not really veg. There's potatoes and onions and stuff at the bottom. In fact, I've got a shelf just full of onions. But I've got tins of food and everything. A couple of lemons that are probably past their best. Let me zoom back out. Turn it around to me. There we go. And scroll the chat back up. So yeah, winter's been quite well, I think winter's been more severe this year than in other years. We've had more days and more nights down around 4, 5, 6 degrees. And yeah, I think the lowest I've seen the thermometer go here was 4. Most are 5 or 6, and even then the 4 degrees is only like 4 or 5 in the morning onwards, 4 while 8 or 9. And I'm safely tucked up in bed, and I've got hot water bottles now. I've jerry-rigged. I've made two homemade hot water bottles, and I've got one real one. So the winters aren't that bad. I mean, my door doesn't close properly. There's no roof on the tent, just a tarp thrown over the top. It leaks like a sieve when it does rain, but yeah, I mean, if you're yeah, the UK doesn't really have a summer, does it? Well, it does. It was a Wednesday last year, I'm told. Spain, that's why I came out here, basically. That was the main attraction when the in-laws had a place out here, come out for the weather. And that's why I came out here after I split from the wife. I probably should have done the documentation proper though, and done the paperwork when I should have. Probably would have caused less trouble. But you make your choices, don't you? I moved out here 3 months before the Brexit vote, and 4 months before the Brexit vote. You're supposed to do all your NIE and other paperwork after 3 months, and I hesitated. I held off. I wanted to see what was going to happen with the Brexit vote. Spain was in the middle of a bunch of general elections. The US election was on the horizon, and I just wanted to see what was going to happen with the world, and that hesitation meant that I didn't do things right, which has come back to bite me on the arse a little bit later on. But such is life, such is life. Tuesday, okay, it was a Tuesday, not a Wednesday, summer. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's get on with this. Where was I? Morticia, and then me sitting and having coffee, waving at people, talking with people. Morticia came. Oh, and well, I decided, this is Monday afternoon, I had these, let me show you this. Whoops. Let me show you this. First click never works. You see these bags of food here next to the doggy? Tina girl. Well, there was about 8. This whole area, the floor here was just full. I couldn't get in and out of the tent. So here's what happened. In the run up to Christmas, I went, hey Thomas, I went shopping a couple of days before Christmas. If you remember the story where the card didn't work and I had to borrow the money from Colleen. Paid her back since then. Then a couple of days later, I went shopping myself to get the proper last minute stuff. Parsnips, sprouts, turkey, I think. And I came back with 2 or 3 carry bags of food. Then 2 ladies turned up and brought the dog sack, the dog food sack, filled with these tins and jars and all sorts. So I think last week a car pulled up on the road a lady and a gent, and the lady gets out and she brings me a bag of all sorts. Karen had left me a bag with a box for Christmas with all sorts. I think I did covered it on a video somewhere, but I mean, there was a lot of alcohol in there. There's 3 of these 200ml bottles of vodka, and I forgot about one, and I lost something yesterday, and I was turning the fucking tent upside down looking for where this thing could have gone. It was the head torch here. I spent 4 hours looking I took it off in the morning, I had it on my head, I sleep with it on, right? That's me in bed. I'll keep the glasses on, I keep the head torch on. Any movement in my house, and you know, oh, it's not even working. Why is that? It was before. One of the batteries had come out. There we go. What? One of the batteries had come loose. But it, sorry, shouldn't have done that. But I'd taken it off as daylight came. I took it off and I put it down somewhere. And as it was about to get dark, no, in the afternoon, I wanted to charge the batteries, ready for when it got dark. And I reached over to where it should be, and it wasn't there. What do you do? 4 fucking hours. I emptied the bed. I've told the jacket potato story, haven't I? Where I lost a jacket potato in bed for what was it, an hour and a half, 2 hours? Fuck. This was worse, because I've got a specific place I put it in the morning, and it should have been right there. And I'm thinking, did I walk out of the tent with it on, like first thing in the morning when I'm doing things? Did I do something stupid? Have I put it down? You know, sometimes you forget and you take it off and you put it down and you think, I must remember where I put this. And half an hour later, you've got no fucking clue where you put it. Have I done that? So I checked all the obvious places that I might. Nothing, nowhere, no way. And I searched this box that's on the bed that had my Christmas present from Karen. And I searched it out of stupidity because I couldn't think what else I might have done. I thought maybe I've taken it off and I put it there like for safekeeping. So I searched it, and that's when I found this bottle of vodka from Christmas, this 200ml bottle. So that was nice, a nice little weekend bonus. But I still couldn't find the bloody light. 4 hours. You know where it was in the end? In the bin. I've got a bin back because I lay in bed and I'm preparing food, and then I'm laying down or sitting up in bed and eating. This chair doesn't get used. This chair is more for storage most of the time. My life is on that bed. So next to the bed, I've got the refuse sack, the bin bag, and the damn thing must have. And I was about to take the bloody bag away as well. That was the other thing. And I thought, before you take it, check in case it's fallen in. And it's got these bright yellow buckle things, these fluorescent yellow or green, whatever you want to call these. So I just look in the bag, and there it is. It's fallen off the side into the bag at some point in the day, and I was about to throw the whole bag out. That wouldn't have been good. Anyway, where was I? I've gone off on a tangent from a tangent here, haven't I? Guide me back. How far through Monday did we get? Okay, more tissue. Oh, okay, but yeah, I came inside and we're sorting out, and that's when I decided to take the food out of the bags and put them in the food rack. The house elves are prolific. Yeah, it's so easy to just put things down and lose them. These glasses are reading glasses. They basically work at this distance. A little bit annoying when I'm in bed and wanting to watch a video, because that doesn't work and neither does that. I have to kind of get closer. But sometimes I get up like in the night and have to go and do something, or walked in, or whatever, and I'm at the door and I've got my glasses on, and I don't want to take them out in case they fall off and break while I'm out. So I'll take them off, and I might put them down on some random surface, sometimes inside the tent, or sometimes I'll put them on top of the solar panel outside the tent. And then you have to remember to pick them back up again when you come in. But sometimes I'm in, I've fastened the doors, I've laid down, I'm in bed, and I go to watch the video, and glasses, where are my glasses? Oh, they're outside. Sometimes I don't know where they are. I have to start the whole look here, look there, look the other. Tina girl, what are we whimpering for? What's wrong? You're okay, babe. Tina's okay. Daddy's okay. We're all okay. No whimpering. You're okay. No. I don't know what she wants. She's been walked, she's been fed, she's got water. Don't know. Maybe there's a dog walking past that she wants to be friends with. Okay, but I came inside and here's where I was. I was emptying these bags and stocking the I call it the veg trolley, the veg trays. But I dragged my back a week or so ago. I said there wasn't a lot of room out here with all these bags, and Tina was feeding, and I had to get around her to put some water in her bowl. So I'm standing on one leg and I'm trying to go around her with the other leg, and I bent and I twisted, and right as I put my foot down, there goes the back. Just a twinge at one side, just a muscle group, just contracted and just agony. But then a few days later, when I'm doing this, putting everything on the veg tray and the veg trolley and moving it around, the entire bottom of my back is just seized all the way over. I don't normally do painkillers, I don't normally do tablets, but we got a few in from friends have been bringing them. I was dosing Tina slightly in the early days of this with her legs, because I thought she might be in pain. But the tablets didn't make any difference. She's not in any pain. When friends come, she'll run to them, even though she's dragging on her ass and falling over and everything. If she was in pain, she wouldn't be running towards people. The tablets didn't make any difference for her, but they came in useful for me after I've done my back. So yeah, I stacked the veg trolley, cleared some of this floor space, reduced the number of bags down to just 2 or 3 from, there must have been 8 or 10. Tina, shush. And yeah, so I had to just go and sit outside for a while because I couldn't really move properly. I'd overdone it, moving stuff around and shifting stuff. So I had to take a couple of painkillers and just sit down and carry on drinking coffee and waving at people walking past. But later on, I decided to have another go at reorganising and sorting. And that's when I found the hot water bottle underneath this pile of bags and things in the bedroom. I've got a couple of holdalls stacked up, and then a couple of survival sleeping bags that people have brought, and some other just stacked up. Right under the bottom, bloody hot water bottles on the deck, on the floor. And it's wet through. It's been wet for ever since New Year's Eve when we had the big rain. Tina, go out. Go outside if you want. Go on. Go out. Go on. You're okay. I think she wants to just sit outside. Yeah, so I found all this, but not just a hot water bottle that was wet. The 2 holdalls that were on the floor next to each other, they're wet, and they're full of clothes and other things. So I've got bags of clothes that have been sat there wet for 3 weeks nearly. So they're not going to be in too good a condition. They're going to be fusty. They're not going to be rotting or anything yet. But I need to get those out. It rained again the other day, so I couldn't put them out yet. But I need to get those out and dried, and then I need to get them washed. But I'm low on water. I've only got, I think, 3. Some of my water bottles are full, but are used as ballast, like to hold the tent down. Because you couldn't, for big parts of the year, you can't get tent pegs into the ground. So I was fastening them to the water bottles, so the bottles are there as ballast, holding the tent and the tarpaulins in place. Now you can't put anything in the ground. If I put a tent peg in the ground now, you put it in at an angle, 45 degrees, fasten to it, the tent gets pulled by the wind, and the soil is now so wet and soft that the tent peg just gets dragged upright and comes out of the ground. So you either can't get a tent peg in the ground half the year, and the other half of the year you can't get the tent peg to stay in the ground. The ground's mush and pulls out. So fastening things to bricks or to heavy, 8 litres of water, 8 kilogram bottles of water. But I'm running out of water. I've only got 2 or 3 left. And now that I'm drinking coffee rather than cola or whatever, I'm going through water at a lot quicker rate. So I don't have enough water lying around for washing clothes at the minute. It's not easy. Okay, let's push on. We're still talking about Monday. When I did come inside, like I said, I was carrying on sorting things out, and I dug out the hot water bottle. It was slimy, it was wet, it was awful. I had to take it out of its cover and turn the cover inside out. I put that out to dry. I dried the outside and then turned it inside out to dry the inside. And the bottle itself, the rubber hot water bottle, was slimy and like a mold was about to set in. So I had to wash it up liquid and wipe it down and leave that out to dry overnight. And all this is because I knew that we'd got cold nights coming later in the week. That was the thing. The weather forecast was talking about 3 and 4 degree nights, and 2 or 3 of them consecutively. But I just want to take a moment and thank Colleen again for the veg trolley, because although it was a trauma to stack and then to move around and put into place, it's brilliant. I used to have a set of shelves, drawers, a big thing like that. But yeah, the stuff I'd put in it was all soft packs, and the mice got in it. Yeah. Anyway, that was that. So yeah, my clothes and a load of stuff in the bedroom there, including the bottom mattress. I've 2 double mattresses, one on the other. The bottom one's wet, and has been all along since New Year's Eve. I need to get that outside and dried off, and that'll give me a bit of space to clean around the mattress. There's all sorts of junk that's during a storm. I insist on having some clothes on the bed, a coat, some shoes, in case we get a flood, an inundation. I want to have certain things just need to be to hand. If my roof blows off, I need to better grab a coat and go out in the rain. Things like that. But sometimes I'll put some things there and then they'll drop off the edge, and then they'll get all wet and manky, and I need to clean all that out. And then I've got a dog. She's a very hairy beast, and the bed gets full of hairs, and they drop off the side of the bed, and the trench around the edge between the mattress and the walls it's all dog hair. I need to clean that area out and get in there and give it a proper sort out. But mainly to dry that bottom mattress off, otherwise it's going to start to rot. I think this carpet is getting funky like that as well, because it's been wet so long. And before it even got dried, it rained again and water came in again the other day, Thursday, Friday, whatever day that was. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's Monday. That's I dug out the I've got a plastic funnel to help me fill hot water bottles, because trying to pour a pan full of water into a 2-litre pop bottle isn't easy, or into a hot water bottle from a pan while you're holding the neck of the hot water bottle. It gets it's not easy. So Karen got me a funnel last year, which I think I used last winter, but I haven't used so far this, because I haven't been using the hot water bottles. As I said, let me show you this. I'm still in shorts. Here's my legs. I'm still wearing shorts, and most of the time I've only got 2 layers on the top here. I've got a thermal t-shirt, short sleeve thermal t-shirt, and I wear the shirt. And on an evening out, the jumper comes on. But most of the time, it's and in the sun, I'm just in the t-shirt, shorts and a t-shirt. People are looking at me like I'm weird. The Spanish are walking around in fucking bobble hats and parka jackets, puffer jackets, ski jackets, all sorts. And I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. It's a real weird situation at times. Yeah, it's Spanish night. The weather's it's what for us from kind of northern Europe. It's a dream here. The weather generally. But I dug out my funnel in readiness for testing hot water bottles and getting ready for the cold weather later in the week. So Monday night into Tuesday, awake most of the night again. It's just a pattern I'm in at the minute where if I fall asleep before 5 a.m, that's an early night. I seem to be awake until the next morning, basically. Then I grab a couple of hours. Just seems to be the pattern. I had a single hot water bottle that night. Just a single, just testing out the idea of it, the boiling water and pouring it through the funnel and and putting it in. I had the 2-litre pop bottle inside a cushion cover, zipped up so I can't burn myself. And lovely and toasty warm. It wasn't a cold night. It was, I don't know, 7 or 8 degrees that night. A warm one. Excuse me. But yeah, awake most of the night, toasty warm with my hot water bottle. Fell asleep at 7 a.m. Woke at 10:30 again. 10:30. That's a lie-in. That's my hot water bottle is still lovely and warm because I don't do them. I don't prepare them until kind of midnight or just before. So yeah, it's still warm the next day. In fact, because I lie in bed most of the day, the hot water bottle goes down kind of to body temperature, and then because my body's there with it, it maintains kind of body temperature, so I can get out of bed, go around, do something. Half an hour later, just climb back in and get under the covers. It's still toasty warm. It's lovely. And I've got my other hot water bottle here, haven't I? Just for anyone who's joined late, let's there she is. Hey babe, that's my little hot water bottle. Cuddles with daddy. There she is. She keeps me toasty warm. She'll get in, she'll actually nudge me. If she's on top of the covers, she'll get out of bed sometimes when she gets too warm. She'll get out and sit on top of the covers, and then she'll nudge me. And I have to work out, does she need a pee or a poo? But usually, all she wants is to get back into the bed. So I lift the covers up and I have to help her move around. Her back legs are no good. I manoeuvre her around. She gets in and head first down, and I'm left cuddling the rump end. I don't get the nice end most of the time. It's nice when I do. Sometimes she'll turn around in the bed and pop her head back up and then rest it on my neck or on my chest. Give me a little cuddle. That's nice. I like that. Those are my favourite cuddles. Not when I get the arse end. But yeah, okay. Hot water bottles, yeah. Now, Tuesday morning, my EcoFlow was down to 60% when I got out of bed. As I said, sometimes, let's say you're above 90% as the sun goes around behind the tent and the shadows start. And you got that question whether to chase that last 10%. Do I move the EcoFlow and the solar panel out over by the tree, the other side of the field, point it at the sun to top up to 100? Usually I don't bother. So we can be as low as 90 when darkness falls, and then you've got to get all through the night charging the phone and the tablets. Tina, let's have some quiet. So I can be as low as 90 at the start of the night, and then using whatever we use on the tablet and on the phone and whatever else. And if I haven't charged batteries and have to charge those, so we're draining away straight away. But usually if I look at the weather forecast and I see that tomorrow is going to be sunny, I don't worry about being down to 90 already. If I look at the weather forecast, like today, and it says the next 2 or 3 days is not going to have any sun, then I will chase it. I will move the panel to the other end and make sure that everything's already topped up and charged, and that the EcoFlow is on 100 at when the sun goes down. But usually it's not a problem. And I do rely on the weather forecasts for this, which isn't always ideal. But there we are. I had to get my solar panels up and running because we were down. 60's a low. If I have to go through a whole day and a whole night, 60 will just about do it. But if the next day doesn't start sunny, that would be a problem. So get back as close to 100 as I can, as quick as I can, just in case. So yeah. Now, weather forecast. It's a sunny day. It's going to be a sunny day Tuesday, sunny. But possibly with strong winds later on, which is always a worry. Because the tent's ripped. Well, it's gone, hasn't it? There's not a section of roof left. Most of the walls are split. There's whole sections of wall missing. The door doesn't close. Can you see over here behind me? Can you see there where it's light? That wall's gone. All that's here is the curtain. This was a curtain over a window. Well, the wall and the window are gone. You're looking straight out of the tent there, down that gap. So the wind's a worry, because if it hits us sideways on, like later in the week when it knocked this big box off the veg rack and broke all my plates and cups, the wind's an issue. The wind's an issue. Have to watch out for it and be prepared and be ready. Again, it's what I used to call my storm protocol. Make sure I've got coats and shoes and warm clothing, dry clothing to hand in case the roof blows off, the tarpaulin blows away or splits. Got to be ready. Anyway, it's a sunny day, the possibility of strong winds later, but we sit outside again and I make some bacon butty. I've got some bacon left over from, I think it might have been Karen when she left the country, bought me bacon. Had some bacon left, and I've got loads of onions, as I said before. I've got a whole tray, a whole shelf of onions in the rack there. So I did, I chopped up, I think, two or three whole onions, and I did caramelized onions. Tina, careful, babe. I did caramelized onions. I cooked them, reduced them right down, and got them really brown. The burnt bits are the sweetest. Those are the nice, as long as they're not too burnt. Nice and black and caramelized. Those spots are lovely. Bacon and caramelized onion butties, absolutely gorgeous. And we sat outside all day again in the sun, just talking to the people walking past. Lovely. But all along we're planning for a cold night where the forecast is 3 degrees. So this is where Donegal overlanding. Hello, my friend. So yeah, Tuesday night was where the forecast was talking about 3 degrees, 3 or 4 degrees. So this is where I'd experimented the night before with the one hot water bottle, the 1 2-litre pop bottle filled with boiling water. This is where I did the full set. I did 2 2-litre pop bottles inside the cushion cover, and the proper hot water bottle, which had been in the sun all day, and all of that gunkiness where it had been wet for ages, all of that was gone. The cover was nice and dried out and good, so I put the hot water bottle back in its cover and got my funnel and made hot water and prepared for a cold night. And I was so toasty warm, it was unreal. Basically, I boiled 6 litres of water, 4 litres in the 2 pop bottles, 1 litre, maybe a little bit more, in the proper hot water bottle, and I had hot coffee as well. And as I said before, my thermal cup here, my insulated cup, keeps the coffee warm for at least 2 hours. After 2 hours it'll still burn if you're not careful. So that was good. Me and Tina in bed, lots of hot water bottles and hot coffee. What more do you want? So it's a cold night, but I'm checking the weather forecast for later in the week for this rain that's going to come on Thursday and Friday, and they keep moving it back. You got that cup from Decathlon? Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, literally, I wish that there was like a cover you could put over the little sippy hole to actually insulate it fully, because it is going to lose some heat out of the little sippy hole, but it's brilliant. I mean, it's fantastic. I wish I'd started using it sooner. But then I wasn't having hot coffee until this last week or two. So yeah, it literally keeps the coffee warm for after 2 hours. When I went to use it the first time, I burnt my mouth. 2 hours after I'd poured the bloody coffee, I'm still burning myself. I have to remember to be a little bit more careful. But yeah, so Tuesday night we got the strong winds that we'd been warned about, and it was cold. But my main concern was the weather forecast for Thursday and Friday. And there's two places I check for the weather, and they always disagree with each other. And they were disagreeing on the amounts of rain and the probability. They were disagreeing on the timing. It's a real mess trying to, when you're relying on these predictions, when you need to know what's going to happen and when. The weather forecast apps are just, you wonder whether there's any actual science in there. They were all week long, they'll tell you there's only going to be 2 millimeters of rain one day, and then when it starts raining, suddenly they'll say, oh no, 20 millimeters. It's like they stick their head out of the window. Tina, girl. Tina. I can show you to people. Hey, babe. It's a better picture of her than it is of me, isn't it? Tina, girl. Let's have some quiet. Let's have some quiet. And back. Look how blue I am. I have to put a light on shortly, I think. It's going to get it's going to get too dark for me to read my notes. So yeah, checking on the weather forecast for later in the week. So Tuesday night into Wednesday again. Like I said, it was a cold night, but we were toasty and warm in bed with the hot water bottles and the hot coffee. Lovely. Another late night, not really getting to sleep, and so another a late start to the day. But unbelievably, I got the EcoFlow fully charged by 11 o'clock, 11:30 actually. But and all my AA and AAA batteries fully charged by 2 o'clock. So that's me. So everything done. All the power fully topped up. Everything done by 2 o'clock. Relax for the rest of the day. I did use some of the power on the phone and the tablet. So, and because of the weather forecast for the next day, I did decide to chase the sun. I took the solar panel and the EcoFlow to the other side of the field, just to top up that 5 or 10%, just to be on 100% going into the night or into the evening. And this was where my mate Tom surprised me. He turned up a couple of hours before sundown, so what, 4:30, 5 o'clock, I don't know what time the sun goes down anymore. But he turned up with a litre bottle of beer to split between us, and he brought me this kind of tomato and egg and pickle salad thing that he'd made. So that was nice. We sat outside until the sun went down, or was about to go down, and nice chat. I like a bit of company. Like I said before, I don't get to leave camp anymore. Tina just can't get anywhere. 20 meters maximum just to do her ablutions, and then we have to turn around and come back. And I have to carry her back legs. I have to pick her off the ground for half of that, and help her in and out of the tent and in and out of the bedroom. So we don't get to go anywhere, so it's nice when people come to us and we can have a chat and maybe a beer. Tina girl, you're pushing. So yeah, after Tom left, I watched a few videos, and it was Scruff Dog. Wednesday night is a Lego stream. He's it was a car, wasn't it, this time? I can't remember the exact model. One of these American cars on the Lego. But good chat with, in the chat, talking with everybody. I enjoy. They're a lot more active in the chat than some streams that I could mention. Yeah. So I watched that, and then 2 o'clock in the morning, took her ladyship for a dog walk. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I don't remember the details. It was cold out there, and 5 degrees or so, and I was just in my shorts, and I think I would have had this jumper on, I think, but you know, cool but not too cold. And when you've got the hot water bottles keeping you warm, you can get out of the bed and walk around without feeling it too much. You're still nice and warm internally. And then when you do come back inside, and I do the doors up and fasten the bedroom as best I can, the zip isn't actually broken. It just doesn't reach. The door doesn't reach the other edge with the zip, because of the way that the weight of the tent and the continuous use of the tent poles have kind of sagged. They're down and out. You know, the arch is a different shape to what it's intended to be, so the bedroom door doesn't fit, doesn't reach. That zip isn't broken. The main door on the tent is broken, and that wall's ripped and all falling apart. But to come inside, get the door as close to closed as you can, because like I said, it was a windy night, and and then get into bed, but have the hot water bottles there. That was lovely. That was to have the bed so toasty warm when you get into it after being out in the cold with the dog. That was brilliant. I've got to put one of these on because it is getting dark. Whoa, where can that go? Is that? Oh, don't fall, you. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's it. Yeah, the tent poles are sagging down and out. Yeah, nice one. Okay, on to Thursday, if I can read it. Oh yeah, I can like that look. Okay, this was fantastic. You know, I said that I'd chased I'd got everything charged up, topped up, and the EcoFlow was on 100% as it got dark. Everything was charged. I only had to do the trickle charge on the phone overnight. So first thing Thursday morning, the EcoFlow's still on 90%. Never had that before. Never had it. Normally it's down around 75, maybe as low as 70. It can be even lower if it wasn't fully charged. But to be on 90% the next morning, I mean, I didn't have to do anything for it to just top itself up. I did. I mean, I stood the panel up, but there was no real need. Even laid down, it would have got enough to fully charge. So I started charging my batteries early, the AA's and AAA's. Now I've got 6 batteries that need charging, and I only had 2 cables, 2 USB-A to USB-C cables, which is what this needs. Won't charge on a proper USB-C to USB-C because the pins aren't hot unless you send the signal, and the batteries don't send the signal. So I only got 2 cables, so I have to do 3 batches of 2 batteries, or I had to. Later in the week, I opened a device. I opened something that Ronan got me, the hair clippers, and that has a USB-A to C cable inside it. So now I can charge 3 batteries at a time. So I only need to do 2 batches of 3 now, which is a lot quicker, obviously. But Thursday, I started charging my batteries in pairs, and while they're doing, I had banana butties in bed for breakfast. That was nice. I thought about toasting them. Sorry, folks. Excuse me. I thought about toasting them on the stove. You know, just put them in a dry frying pan. But I thought it was too much like hard work in the end. So I just had some nice hot coffee with them, and sat in bed eating my sandwiches. Tina doesn't like bananas, but she will eat them if you give her them inside a sandwich. Usually, sometimes she'll pick through and spit the banana out, and you find little bits of banana in bed. Oh, bugger. But yeah. Now I'm while I'm doing this, while I'm eating my banana butties, I'm checking on the weather forecast, because earlier in the week it had said Thursday afternoon was going to be rain and into Friday, and all along the week they've been backing away from it, backing off later and later Thursday, and one of the forecasts was for rain all day Friday, and the other forecast was for just rainy spells. What do you do? In the end, they back off, and one of the forecasts becomes no rain. which is when it starts to rain. The fuck? What do you do? How do you do that? All week long you've been saying rain, rain, rain. You back off and say, oh, no rain today. And it rains the moment that they change to no rain. When it was at a low point, I did a little bit of food prep. I took a jar of mixed veg and a tin of tomatoes, mixed them together and put some dried pasta, you know, little bow tie. I don't know the names of my pastas. I know spaghetti and spaghettoni and tagliatelle. That's about it. But the little bow tie ones, I got a pack of those, so I mixed those in, and when the rain wasn't so bad, I went out and put those on to cook. Just heat it up to boiling and then turn it off, and it can just sit in the warm sauce, and the pasta will cook without any extra heat at that point. So yeah, food prep and making some food in the rain. And that night, 11 o'clock, it started to rain again, but it was just something and nothing. But the winds picked up. I mean, the winds were vicious. I was a little bit worried again, because I wasn't in the forecast for strong winds. But then there it is, pummeling the tent from the side. But it's okay, we're well ventilated. The wind's not like, when it was a solid tent and it was being hit broadside, it really caught it, you know, a lot of surface area. But there's so much ventilation now, the wind can just blow right through. It doesn't take the tent with it so much. Well, later it did. Later it did. This is the night when it did, because the wind changed direction, hit that side, and the plastic box with my plates and cups and things that I'd put on top of the veg cabinet, the veg trolley, that wall bowed in so much it pushed the box off and everything just broke. All my, you know, my plates and mugs, the pottery, ceramic, they all broke, and the box broke, and half the stuff spilled out of the box, and I've got to clean that up sometime soon. I'll get to it eventually. But that wasn't great. That wasn't great. This was, you see, these are things that people donated to me after the police took away all my cooking stuff, whenever the hell that was, April, May last year. So people came around straight away and they brought me this box with veg peelers and knives and forks and you know, a chef knife and a paring knife and all these bits, but plates as well. And now, I think one of those was in that box and another plate, so those two are broken and away. I had a couple of bowls, those are broken, and the mugs are broken. I don't know. I knew I was taking a chance when I piled it on there, but I wanted, like, I was trying to organise things and have things to hand rather than having to go into the other room and dig around It's my battle to get organised. See, I have organised things in the past, but the first time you can't find something and you start digging around, taking one box off the top of another box or one bag off another, it's a fucking shithole again straight away. Things just don't stay organised. And I've got so much stuff in here, I'm going to have to start throwing some stuff away because I've just run out of room. So yeah, there we go anyway, folks. That was Thursday into Thursday night. Like I said, it was 11 o'clock when this wind picked up and the box of stuff got all broken. And Scruff Dog's doing an extra live stream, an extra broadcast because of the SpaceX launch, which we all watched and chatted, and it's phenomenal. I mean, the booster rocket coming back down, hovering, moving into the arms and getting caught in these chopstick things. Phenomenal. But after 7 attempts, they've still not got the fucking main Starship or whatever it's called. They've still not got that into orbit. Whereas the day before, I think it was, the Amazon bloke, whatever his company's called, with the New Glenn rocket, isn't it? He got his into orbit first attempt. Makes you worry about what Elon's up to. Get the basics. Get your starship or whatever it's called is supposed to make it into bloody space and not keep blowing up. I don't know. I worry. I think Elon Musk. I think I believe Thunderfoot, a bloke online called Thunderfoot, where the O's are actually zeros in his name. I think Thunder OOT. He thinks that Elon's going to be bankrupt within about a year ago. He gave Elon 5 years until he's bankrupt, so 4 years from now, and I think he could be right. I do. It looks like a house of cards to me. The overvaluation of all of his companies. The value doesn't have any link with the revenue. So if the market loses confidence, all of his companies could just go under. We'll see. We'll see. That's an aside. Anyway, I was watching Scruff Dog and the SpaceX launch. Oh, okay. We've got a moon landing denier. I think we have been there, but I think we allowed the skills to age out. All of the people that were involved in it are either dead or nearly dead, and they didn't get to transfer that knowledge to other people within their working lifetime. So we're having to rediscover and relearn all over again. I think we did, on balance, I think we did go there, but you can't prove it, can you? Just because there's some mirrors up there that are bouncing lights back when you shine a laser, it's not absolute proof that a manned mission went. But I think we did. I think the Russians would have called it out if the Yanks didn't go. We'll see, I guess, in time. It worried me that even the Hubble telescope couldn't find the landing site and zoom in on like footprints on the soil. The moon is made of cheese, yeah. But yeah, I think eventually they did get the Hubble to the point where it could look and see the maybe not the footprints, but I think it saw the lander's base was left there, wasn't it? When they took off to come back, they exploded the. I think Buzz Aldrin is. Isn't he losing his marbles now? I think he's aging out. I don't think many of the original 12 are left, are they? The 12 that have landed there. Don't think many of them are left. It's a shame, but I think we lost the impetus. I think we went too soon, is what really happened. Went too soon when the technology wasn't ready, or when they had to throw a lot of money at it to make it work, and the cost then put the next generations off from going, or the politicians didn't want to blessed as a tramp. I don't know about that. Let's crack on, folks. Where am I? I was on Thursday night, Scruff Dog and SpaceX. Again, awake until at least 3 a.m, maybe later, I'm not quite sure. And yeah, this was a warmer night because it was raining on and off. It was a warmer night. Now we woke up 7 o'clock Friday morning, thunder. Couldn't see lightning because I'm inside multiple layers in the bedroom, and it's a dark room. But my dog was shaking like hell. She hears it before I do, because I guess the rumble of thunder must have some, I don't know, ultrasonic or whatever. There must be a wave gets here before the audible stuff that I hear. She was shaking long before the thunderclap hit. But there she was, quaking away. Now, minimal rain at that point, but it was very dull. I mean, it was dark outside. Long after it should have been getting light, it stayed dark. The eco flow this time was down to 83%, so we'd not topped it up as much, or we'd used more during the night. More than likely that. Like I said, if I'm watching videos on this phone, it runs through the battery. Let me just check. Do you remember the week when we're down to 54? This was on 100% when I started an hour and a half ago. We're down 46 percentage points. in an hour and a half of, I guess it's the screen and it's the internet, it's the mobile data. But it does, it gobbles up the power. So yeah, and with no sun, I was starting to wonder whether we were going to get enough power. And the forecast, again, was still split as to whether we were going to get any sun or not. One of the forecast apps I used was saying, no sun, not today, not tomorrow. And the other was saying, yeah, you'll get some sun. So I just had to wait and see what happened. This is where Donegal over landing there, he sent a message asking if I was alive and if I was well. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. But yeah, we're getting by. We survived. Toasty warm with the hot water bottles. I think I would be fine down to about -5 here at the minute with the hot water bottles and everything. Maybe even cooler. I can always just put some more clothes on and cuddle the hot water bottles more actively. Get some hot food as well as hot coffee. I think I'm fine, and it doesn't get that cold here. I mean, it snowed once in Torrevieja in 100 years, and that was 4 or 5 years ago now, was it? Maybe a bit more. 6 or 7, maybe. I think I was on Avenida de la Mancha at that point. Christ, it could be 8 years ago. Fuck. Where does time go? But yeah, and then this was then when Sven, my friend Sven, sent me a PayPal donation, as he does apparently monthly. You don't have to, Sven. You don't have to do it every month, my friend. But 20 euros is phenomenal. Thank you very, very much. And here we go, guys. Despite the forecast that said no sun, the sun comes out. And quickly, we get the EcoFlow back up to 100%. We're on full power again. Mid-afternoon, the sun goes away, stays away. But we've topped up. We've got enough power to see us through that night. Well, the rest of the afternoon, that night, and the whole of the next day and next night if we have to. We're from 100%. We can do that. We can do 2 nights and a whole day. So we'd do that. It'd probably be a close run thing, but we could do that, I think. But as the sun goes in, because of the heavy clouds, we start with some light to moderate rain on and off through the afternoon and evening. And as it gets later, it gets heavier and more frequent. It's still stopping and starting, but it's quite heavy at times. And as I said earlier, I'm watching the floor. I've got the carpet pulled back to let it dry from, still trying to dry out from New Year's Eve, and I think one other bit of rain that we had at some point. But as I've got it pulled back and I can see the bottom and the base of the tent, I see this puddle appearing on the floor. And I come and I look, and I'm looking for whether anything's dripping from the roof or running down the walls. There's nothing. This water is just appearing. Now, as I said before, I don't know if it's running down the missing wall. I don't know if we've got a leak in the tarpaulin. It could be coming down the wall and under the bedroom floor and coming out here. Or it could just be coming under the tent entirely from the far side. Tina, it's just people. Hey, it's just people walking past. Quiet. You're okay. Tina's okay. Daddy's okay. I'm just noticing. You won't be able to see this. I can see my breath. You won't be able to pick that up, I don't think. No, because of light. But I can. That's. I don't know where we are. It's possibly drainage from higher elevation because the field just sloped this way. But they built the big drainage channel at the top to catch the worst. This field used to flood all the time, and they built the drainage channel. I think they fucked up where they made it run over the road. I don't think they went deep enough with the trench over the road. But I'm not an engineer, what do I know? I think they should have gone deeper and had a cattle grid type set up over it. Instead, it's just a real shallow incline. And you got this huge metre deep ditch. It's over half a metre anyway, but in places maybe a metre from the land. And then you've got like 2 inches where it cuts over the road. And they're allowing the plants and everything to grow back in there and block it. So there is a risk. New Year's Eve I was really worried because it was torrential for like 24 or 36 hours. Almost solid, almost torrential the whole time. and I was sure that the drainage channel at the top was going to be overrun, and that there was a risk that we'd be flooded again. But it hasn't happened. I mean, it happened twice in the first month. Then a month or two later, they did the drainage works, and it hasn't happened since. So I guess I got to start trusting them a little bit more, maybe. As I said though, it's raining and it's getting more heavy as the evening and night go on. Now, perversely, it was at its heaviest when the weather forecast app was saying no more rain, 0% chance of no rain, of no quarter of a millimeter, but the chance was like 0 or 5% or something. That was when it was at its heaviest. It's just the apps are just abysmal. I'm sure they stick their head out and update it based on what's happening out the window. Now, if you know anything about me, Friday Night Tights is my favourite programme of the week, or was. I've really gone off it recently. I gave it another go. I tried watching it. I watched it for the first hour. I got bored. I fucked it off. And I'm just cruising. I'm just browsing YouTube videos, and I see this short where this young lady, I was going to say girl, but no, teenage, late teens, maybe 18, 19. She sees a DeLorean car, from Back to the Future kind of thing, and she spazzes out over it. She goes ape. Tina, quiet. She goes ape. She's all excited and gets in and has a look and it just made me want to watch Back to the Future. So I went and I downloaded them all. And so that's what I did Friday night. I watched Back to the Future. Only the first one so far. I'll get to the rest. But she was just so excited at it. It just made me want to go and watch the film again. Don't think I've watched it in a few years. Maybe once while I've been in Spain, and I've been here 9 years in February the 17th. What's that? It's just less than a month, isn't it? 19th today. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. But that's what I did with my Friday night. Whilst monitoring for the rain and the puddles of water that were appearing, I got a little puddle in the bedroom and more out here. And I was coming out to the EcoFlow to charge things and do things, and I was having to watch where I'm stepping and having to put my shoes on to walk around the tent. It's just not normal. Normally I walk around in either my bare feet or in socks, but I'm having to since New Year I've had to put my shoes on to walk out here because everything's wet. The carpet is still wet from New Year's Eve. It hasn't dried out. If I could take, I might have a go at it. I might try and take everything out one day and take the carpet out. But there's so much in here to move. The coffee table and everything on it, including the TV, that I still hardly used. The Christmas tree, the big armchair. There's a cupboard here with drawers in it. This set of shelving, just everything, all the crap. It all needs moving for me to get the carpet out and get the carpet dry. And even then, the carpet's all brown and yucky and mucky. I've got a standby replacement carpet that Karen and husband brought me last visit. But I don't want to put that down in a tent that's just going to get wet again. I need to work out how the water's getting in. Because if it's just coming under the tent and coming in, there's not a lot I can do about it. If it's one specific wall that's leaking and letting stuff in, where the tarpaulin, well, I've got an extra tarpaulin I can put out. Maybe I just get on and do that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And if I do that, while I was digging around looking for looking for all sorts, I found my rubber mallet for putting tent pegs in. I found two bags of tent pegs I didn't know I had. All summer we've got the tarp clipped on with these big clamps, but they have a tendency of going through the tarp eventually, putting little holes and tears in that then allow it to leak. But all along, I've got these tent pegs I didn't know I had, 2 packs of them. And somewhere around, I've got some rope and some, I haven't got like paracord, but I've got some kind of thread or rope somewhere. So maybe I'll put that on and stop using the clamps, or just have just 1 or 2 clamps on the edges where they're not going to do too much damage to the tarp itself, to the tarpaulin. We'll see. But I gotta work out how the water's getting in, because if it is just coming in and under the floor, there's no point me swapping the carpets or anything. Don't know. But an extra layer, an extra tarp over the top will make it warmer in winter, but it'll turn it into a fucking oven in summer. I don't know. I haven't really decided on that yet. And if I put the new tarp on, do I put that over the top of the current tarp, or do I put it under? So that the old tarp protects the new tarp from the ultraviolet. I'll probably do that if I can. It's fiddly because it's not a one-man job putting an 8-meter tarp over the top of a tent. It's a 2 or 3 person job, really. I hear movement. Possibly a mouse in the bedroom, in the storage room. Anyway, folks, let's get on with it. Friday night. So yeah, Back to the Future. That was my. I did that instead of Friday Night Tights. Their opening topic was probably something I'm not going to be too interested in, and they talk about it for the first hour and a half of the program. It's just. Anyway, so Saturday morning, we got some drying to do because it's been raining and then puddles of water. So I got my door pinned open like I have now. The door's pinned open. It's the door, the tarp, and the fly screen, the mosquito mesh, pinned open so that the air gets in and everything can begin to dry and evaporate the water away, which it does fairly quickly. But Colleen turns up. This is where she comes and brings me a couple of newspapers, the English language newspapers out here, and so that I can do the Sudoku and the crosswords and whatever other logic puzzles and things that they put on those things. And she also brings me a tin of beans, which I ate last night, straight out of the tin, tramp style. Crack open the tin, spoon, half a loaf of bread, you know, dip the bread right in the tin and just go. I could have warmed them up. I probably should have warmed them up, but I just didn't. I just did not. That was last night. I'm jumping ahead. So Colin comes around, she brings me the beans and the papers, and I make cheese toasties. 4 slices of bread in the frying pan, no oil, just dry. Press them down. When the one side gets toasted, or when it was half toasted, a bit of margarine on the outside and put it back in the pan, so it toasts even more. When it's time to turn them over, the toasted parts are going to be the inside. More margarine, mustard, cheese. And then put then the 4 slices become 2 sandwiches. Back in the pan and do the 2 outside. Margarine on the outside again. Back in the pan, and yeah, toasted cheese sandwiches. I haven't been warming food up until. Well, I haven't been doing it at all for months. I haven't cooked properly except for the Christmas meal, and. It's good to start having hot coffee and warm food again, which was why I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not warming the beans up last night. But such is life. Anyway, I don't know why, I must have seen a clip or something of Rent-A-Ghost, kids TV program from 1976, I think it was. So I downloaded that, and I'm currently going through watching. I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Rent-A-Ghost. Fantastic, Mr. Claypole and what have you. Childish. It's funny, silly humour. I did see when it was first on. I saw the first ever episode when it happened in 76. I would have been about 7 or 8. depending what time of year it started. But yeah, so that was my Saturday really. Rent-A-Ghost. I'm still watching some of the other things. I'm still trying to watch The Mentalist, but it's not downloading for me at the minute. And I'm downloading Lie to Me, which is another one of these smartest man in the room kind of detective-y kind of shows. That was my Saturday. Oh, until Scruff Dog Saturday night. I slept through Big Clive. I fell asleep. I missed Big Clive. I'll have to go and watch it. Tina, I'll watch it on demand rather than live. Obviously, I missed the live. I woke up about half an hour into Scruff Dog's live stream. So I went and watched that and joined in the chat and did that. But then it was back to just watching the videos that I've downloaded, such as Rent-A-Ghost and Lie to Me. Which brings us to Sunday morning. More cheese toasties. I made another batch. I was just going to have banana butty. I've got a banana that's, you know, when the entire thing is black, the entire outside, and starting to get a little bit mushy. Starts to smell a bit alcohol-y, the banana. Needs using. So I thought about having banana butties, but I went for the cheese and mustard again, just because it was there. I mean, I was out doing coffee anyway, so I just made myself a nice warm couple of cheese toasties. This was when a little bit after that. This was when Ragnar, I think Ragnar rather than Ragnar, but I'm not too hot on the Swedish names. But this is when he comes down the field, and he's one of the guys that lives in the buildings at the top of the road there, and asked me if I wanted a mattress. They've got a single mattress, but I've got a double bed in there. You know, I did once upon a time build an actual double bed. At the moment, it's just two mattresses on the floor, one on top of the other. I need to have two because the bottom one gets wet. I've still got some of the wood and the bricks where I could raise it off the floor, but I don't have the planks to put across. I think I've still got the beams that would span across the bricks, but then I need planks to put spanning the two beams, and the police took those away, and I haven't got the planks, so can't really build a bed at the minute. But it was nice of him to offer. You know, when the neighbours, as I would call them, when the neighbours are coming and offering me help, that's nice. I feel a little bit bad turning people down sometimes, but sometimes they're just offering me things that, you know, just don't need, and I can't be cluttering the place up with too much stuff that I don't need. Like my television, I've literally used it like 3 times in the year that I've had it. Didn't use it over Christmas at all. I thought I might. I mean, the EcoFlow will power it for about 4 hours, maybe 5. But no, I just haven't. So after Ragnar left, I had to sit down and prepare my notes for TrampCast. Here we are, folks. You know, these don't come out of nowhere. I have my notes on the phone, and then I have to. There's definitely movement over here. I hear the pitter-patter of footsteps on plastic. Little bastards. Mice. Hopefully it's just... Oh! One time... God, when was this? It'll be about 2 weeks ago now. I heard something out here. I was in the bedroom. I was in bed in the bedroom there. And I heard a clank, metal on metal. Or what I thought was metal on metal. And I thought the main thing out here that's metal is Tina's dog... a water bowl is metal. And I thought maybe it was like a mouse with its claws, or maybe a rat, you know. As far as I know, we haven't had rats in yet, but we've had lots of mice. But I thought maybe it was the claws on the metal bowl while it was sipping at the water. So I came out, and I put my head torch on and shone around and shouted. This fucking big ginger cat jumps up from over here, from behind where I am now, onto the coffee table, runs through and runs out of the hole in the wall next to the door, where it's split ceiling to floor. Just runs out through the wall. fucking big ginger kind of marmalade cat. The same one that Tina chased away one day this week. Now I want the cat here because of the mice, but dog doesn't like cats, so she chases it away. And accidentally, I chased it away this one time. I mean, if I'd known it was a cat, I'd have passed it a bowl of food and water. But it was the metal on metal I'd heard. It's got a collar and like not a bell, but a ring, or and that hits some metal down here. There's a little metal. It's like a pan, but without a handle, with water that I wash knives and forks and things in. So maybe it was trying to get the water, but it got washing up liquid in it. But it might have been trying that, and its collar pinged on the water. But it gave me the shock of my fucking life. I've come out of the bedroom because I've heard something. I'm expecting it to be a mouse, and I'm going to shout, and it's going to scurry away. And if you ever see mice, they're like lightning. This cat wasn't quite that fast, but when I shouted, it jumped up on the table, and it gave me the fright of my fucking life. And it ran across, and then he goes out of this hole that you can't even really see, but it knew was there and jumped through it. So yeah, that. But that's the week that was, folks. That's my week. Those are the successes and failures and just happenings in the life of a tramp, an Englishman trapped in Spain by circumstance. And I don't know, folks. The coming week, I don't really have any plans. I gotta carry on with the reorganizing and trying to sort things out, trying to dry out things. Like I said, I've got all these clothes that are going to be getting all musty and smelly. I've got to get them dry at least, even though I can't wash them. I haven't got the water for washing. I am running short on water. I might have to try and get someone to look after Tina for an hour, and I go to the supermarket and come back with a couple of bottles, a couple of 8-litre bottles. I don't think the place where I used to get water, the foot wash, they turn those off in winter. I don't think those will be active still. So yeah, I've got to do something for water. I got to carry on monitoring power, and as I said, the next 3 days, one of the weather apps says no sun. So I gotta, if we do get any, I'm gonna have to chase it. I'm gonna have to run around putting the solar panels in the best position to grab what power I can while I can. 3 days without sun will be that will be me out. That'll be me buried. That'll be me out of power. So I gotta watch for that. I gotta try and counter that as best I can. Some of these devices, I've got 2 lights that are solar powered, and they will take some charge even on a non-sunny day. Just daylight is enough for some of them. But Ismo, hello my friend. But yeah, just that, monitoring for the cold. I've got my hot water bottles when I need them. I've got warm food and hot coffee now when I need it. Don't have any sugar. Here's what I had to do in the end, guys. I'd had sugar in a coffee, an empty coffee jar, and a lot of it gets crusty and sticks to the side and won't even come off with a spoon. So I poured some hot water into that and shook it around. So now when I make a coffee, I'm pouring a little bit of sugary water into the bottom of the cup to give me some sugar until I can find a way of getting to the supermarket. Haven't got a lot of money left on my card, my prepaid debit card, and I haven't got an easy way. Tina can't even begin to think about going to Mercadona. I can't leave her on her own. But maybe I can ask the guy the other side of the field to look after her for an hour. Well, looks like we just lost connection for a little bit. Is everyone still there? We're going to finish soon anyway. Tina! We're going to finish soon anyway, so I'll let you go on the 2 hours. I was just saying I haven't got much money left on my card, and getting to the shop's not easy because of Tina. But if I can get the guy the other side of the field to look after her for an hour one day, I'll get out and buy some of the little bits and pieces that I run out of occasionally. It's not often you need to buy a bag of sugar, but we are there at the minute. I think I've got flour and yeast and stuff still, so I could even bake my own bread. I'd have to jerry rig an oven, but it can be done. It can be done. Or if we get a sunny day, I can do a pizza, make a pizza from scratch in the slow cooker, maybe. Or even in a frying pan. Done that before now. Although it was better when I had 2 frying pans. You need to better put something over the top. Something in my ear. Okay, folks, I don't think there's much in the way coming up over the next week. But thank you for joining me today. This was episode 52 of TrampCast. Thank you for joining me. We will finish in the traditional way if we can. If she will play ball. Hey, Tina girl. Hey, Tina. There she is. So, folks, from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike, out. Awkward.